Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to wind up putting this carburetor back together today. So I have enough carburetor parts around here to probably put two carburetors together. I got two base plates here. We got this one here that has the 180 on them, which is an 850 CFM. And then we had another one that had a 172/173 on it, which is a 750. So this big block that I have here is going to require a lot of CFM. So I wound up getting a new main body, an 850 body, a high performance body, high flow. So let me point you down at the table and we'll open up the box and see what it came with. Alright, so I went to the store and I could have got it cheaper if I actually had a mailing address up here. So I had to go to the auto parts store and this cost me 200 bucks. So I got a new main body. Now what's different about this main body is there's no choke horn, so no choke anymore. It's got air bleeds that are screw-in, which are a little bit different. It's just got a lot more flow than the old body, and also the hole diameter, the venturi diameter is a lot bigger. So we're going to wind up putting this body on there. Now this kit came with some new gaskets, came with some jets, and we're going to wind up using this kit instead of the kit that I bought. We're going to use that kit to build the 750. Alright, so let's get started. So the first thing I got to do is bolt the throttle plate to the main body. And this is my gasket here. So I've got to set up my gasket properly. Make sure my holes line up where they're supposed to line up. There's two little pins. I don't know if the camera can catch them, but there's pins. These pins got to line up with these holes on the body. And it falls into place. And then I flip the whole thing over. And get rid of this box now. And I can start putting some screws in. Now I was talking to a friend and he said a lot of hollies don't come with these bolts anymore. They're missing because they've been known to drop in. Now I'm not really worried about that because I'm going to be using a plate like this. They won't be able to drop through this plate. But yeah, if I had an open plenum, that'd be terrible, dropping some bolts down through there. Get some screwdrivers going on here, and we got to screw these base plates in. Alright, that's not enough. One time I bought one of these and it was a blemish and the holes didn't line up. So you get sometimes when you buy cheap stuff on eBay, stuff they threw in the dumpsters because it wasn't machined properly, and someone goes in the dumpster and they grab them and try to sell them as new. But this ain't no blem, this came right from the parts store. I'm just getting them all started. Whenever you're working with anything that's multiple bolts, you don't want to ever fully tighten one and then try to get the other ones to start up, because you might have a hole that is not directly lined up, and then you have them all tight and you can't have that playroom to wiggle them around until they line up. I think this one might be a problem. Remember I was telling you how sometimes they don't machine things properly? That one doesn't want to line up. But that was one I was telling you anyway that they don't use anymore anyway. So I guess I'll do what my friend says and I'll leave those two out and I'll use 6 instead of 8. This was that plate that wouldn't even move. It took a lot for me to get it cleaned up enough that it would move freely. Had to use a lot of rust buster and carburetor cleaner and some rust neutralizer, but she opens perfect now. No play in the shafts. She works nice. Check it this way. Looks good. Alright, so now we got some metering blocks. So this metering block has no hole in it. That is for our secondary. So that'd be this back one here. No power valve needed for our secondary. So what I'm going to need out of this bag is some gaskets. I see I got some jets in here. Man, I should have brought my glasses again. See what these jets say on them. I can actually see a stamping on this one. I think it says an 82. 82. 82 and 82. So I guess the stock jet for an 850 is an 82. Now when you guys, since I've seen you last, I did buy a dip tank. And I let these parts sit in this tank overnight. Did a pretty good job cleaning. So screw my jet in here. Snug that up. Put my other jet in here. Snug it up. So no spring break this year, huh? I don't know. Kind of looking forward to having a really long summer, I guess. If this coronavirus goes away. Alright, so that one doesn't line up. There we go, that one lines up. Alright, so now I got to put this plate on. Once again, there's two little dimples on it that fit into some holes on the base plate. Lines it up perfect. And I rebuilt these fuel bowls. They got new accelerator pumps. They got new needle and seats in them. Now this one's got the bigger accelerator pump. That is the secondary one. And when I put this on, I got to make sure that this is set in this direction. So that will sit under it. That don't line up. I guess I'm going to have to get a new piece of linkage for this to line up. Not a problem. I have it around. Now I got to put my bowl bolts on. Now on the bowl bolts, they come with a gasket too. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but they got a little nylon gasket right there. Well, maybe I just didn't have the bowl lined up on there properly yet. Just needs to be adjusted. It's very loose. So you gotta adjust your linkages and stuff before you put it on the car. Once again, I don't fully tighten any of them until I get them all started. Alright, these are flatheads. I'll start that corner. And I'll go to the opposite corner. I'll go to this one. I'll go to this one. Alright. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to do the other side. Alright, did this come with a new power valve? Doesn't look like it. I might have to use an old one. Or my kit over here came with one. But there is a way to check to see if this power valve is good. If I put my mouth on here and I suck it, and it will actually suck this diaphragm in, I know there's no hole in it. Damn, that tastes bad. No hole in it. Alright, so now I got to screw this in the back of here. I see my wrench laying around. Alright, one of these. I guess I gotta go run to my toolbox and tighten this really quick with a 1-inch wrench. Be right back. I tightened it back up. Now, gotta get my gasket, see if my gasket matches up. And it's still not matching up. Flip it over this way. And it matches up that direction. Alright, so I got it on there properly now. Now this has a little pipe coming out of this little vacuum pipe. Pulls vacuum when we give it gas. This vacuum line is the one that goes to our vacuum advance on our distributor. Now I got to put my jets in. Tighten them up real fast. Alright, got that tightened up. Did I put a fuel bowl on it? Wow, I gotta take that other side apart. I never put the fuel bowl gasket on it. Well, made a mistake. I'm sure you guys have been through that before too, that put something together and you gotta take it apart, like when we did that small engine project. Sometimes you gotta go backwards. Well, I was rushing this in front of the camera. And I gotta find some of my little gaskets that came with this kit. So put my little gasket on the bolt. Tighten these up. 5/16 or 8mm. Side. Now when I get this all done and I get the transmission in the car, then I'll wind up being able to start this up and get this thing all tuned up properly. See if it works when we're done. Maybe during the week this week I'll get the transmission in. I want to hear this thing run in this car. I got to get that gas tank in too. Got a lot of work to do on this car. Alright. So we now have a complete carburetor, except I got to take this bowl back off and put a gasket on it. That looks pretty nice, man. It looks pretty good. Should be a runner. Got to make an adjustment here. Got to make adjustment on my accelerator pump. I got to put my little fuel line piece in there with a gasket. Got a little left to do, but she's coming together. Alright guys, until next time.